Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Friday. I'm back. It is Oracle Friday, and before I start anything, a lot of big news this week in the world. So I just wanted to read something really quick. Older sibling had actually asked if I was going to address the passing of the Queen, but I wrote something down simply because my mind is everywhere right now. So I just didn't get a lot of sleep. So here we go. Before I jump into the spirit messages, I wanted to take a moment to remember Queen Elizabeth II and send my sincerest condolences to the UK and the Commonwealth. I live in a country that, 246 years ago, fought to remove itself from the monarchy. Monarchy, many here, revere. Good morning, baby sibling, today. So let me try that again. I live in a country that 246 years ago fought to remove itself from the monarchy that many here revere today. Like Parliament, our leaders change out every few years, but unlike Parliament, we do not have a deeply rooted in history monarchy. I didn't realize, well, we don't anymore. I didn't realize it until today, and I don't know if others will share my sentiment here in the US, but in an ever-changing world, the Queen was always there, doing her thing. It was a comfortable consistency. Now, as King Charles III takes his place as the monarch of the UK and Commonwealth, we say goodbye to a familiar comfort and make way for a new era and what is yet to come. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth II, and God save the King. So again, I wanted to read that just because, like I said, my brain is all over the place today. Not a lot of sleep, so today's going to be a fun day. But before we get to the angel answers cards, I got this one. Today's oracle really felt like it needed to be a healing one. So, thank you, baby sibling. I wish I hadn't tripped over it, but hey, things happen. But so I got the healing yourself cards, angels and ancestors, just for fun, the enchanted unicorn deck, because that one's a good time, and healing with the fairies. But I also have the moonology card because not only did retrograde start today, tomorrow's a full moon, which means the cycle starts today, and tomorrow's a full moon in Pisces. So I'm going to read the moon card first, okay, and then we'll get into the angel answers deck, which is what I normally start with. Before I do that, though, we have some guidelines. I know, you're like, just get to the damn oracle part already. Patience is the key to all joy. So, number 1, do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here. Number 2, do not try to make a card or a reading fit your question if the answer does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. And number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the messages from the book because someone took the time to put the book together, so I feel like it is a nice gesture to do that. All right, let's get rolling. So, full moon in Pisces. Oh, I'm sorry if I wince every so often. My back is still, I don't know what it is. I swear it's PMS cramps in my back, but anyways, on a very metaphysical level, since it is Oracle Friday, it is also considered, I think my back pain has actually become, because I'm completely aligning with myself now, like my true self. And I think the lower back pain, in the lower areas of your back, is where you store all of your emotional pain. And my mom's 8th year passing is coming up on Monday. Today was the day when I actually went down to San Diego to see her because my dad told me it was time. And it was the very last time my mom told me she loved me before she went into a coma, or went back into a coma. She woke up, asked me why I was there, told me, I love you, but what are you doing here? And those were the last words she ever said to me. So there's a lot of emotions. And of course, I'm not obsessed with the monarchy in England, but I am very fascinated by it. The traditions, the whole culture around it and all that. The history, 'cause I love history. I had a whole text thread going last night with one of my really good friends, and we both were bonding over history and our our fascination with the monarchy. So, um, anyways, full moon in Pisces, balance, spirituality, and practicality. That's why I shared my back pain, because I read that and I thought, that's the answer I'm looking for. And I know it has to be only because I wasn't going to do this deck. I mean, I knew it was a full moon tomorrow, but I kept forgetting about this deck. And then something said, read the card today. So quickly I Googled to find out what astrology sign the full moon is going to be in, and it is Pisces. So again, balance, spirituality, and practicality. You have your two little fishies swimming in there, right? So in astrology, Pisces is actually at the top of the astrological chart, and by top I mean bottom is Aries, and it's nothing against Aries, but Aries is where you start, and a lot of people believe that you come back in each life as a different sign, and usually progressing towards Pisces, which is supposed to be kind of like the I don't know. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm kind of in love with Capricorn, but but Pisces is supposed to be kind of the very well-rounded out astrological sign. They're the ones who are supposed to know what's going on. Do they all know what's going on? Probably not. We're all humans, but as far as having clarity, finding things in clarity a lot easier, that's supposed to be them. Now, we all know that even though it says 5 million things of what your traits are, that we all carry different traits from different things. And if you see traits that match a different sign other than that, maybe you had a past life where you're just carrying that through. You know, I'm not holding back on the metaphysical stuff today. It is Oracle Friday. It's the day when I can be completely open by stepping out of what I consider my lane Monday through Thursday. All right, because I don't want to scare people off. But if you're here for Oracle Friday, there's a reason you're listening to this. So you will probably understand or learn as you go. All right. So have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? Oh yeah, that's right. Pisces are also supposed to be the dreamy ones. I should have been born a Pisces. I swear I live half my life in the clouds. But have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Attuned to the moon. So this is your affirmation. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. Well, maybe not an affirmation. Sometimes they turn out to be, but in this case, attuned to the moon. So then today, tomorrow, Sunday. 3-day cycle, tomorrow being the fullest that the moon will be. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. Additional meanings for this card. You're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is a soulmate. Ooh. Avoid substance abuse. Okay, that's kind of that feels very random. I mean, all this stuff basically is talking about, you know, being dreamy, and oh, by the way, don't get addicted. So shit, I'm sorry, I told you it's going to be fun today. I'm a little punchy. The teaching. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous Piscean energies that have no borders, so feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. Aww. It's also time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. God, this is like the perfect card for what I feel like I'm going through right now. Again, I was reading an article yesterday, which I know was meant for me because I'm part Hawaiian, and it was from a kumu. I forgot her name already. Shame on me. I read it yesterday while I was in pain and on medicine. But it was from a kumu, in Hawaii, which is a teacher in Hawaii. And it talked about how, like, in that, there's this little triangle, which is kind of like, would be like the heart shape, right above your butt crack, right? Like the tip would touch your butt crack. And there's that little space right there. It could be a triangle, it could be a heart, whatever you want to call it. That's where we store a lot of our emotions. But if you look at the top part of that, it kind of hits that lower part of your back, right? And that's what's been hurting. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you're probably throwing your back out. Yeah, well, I haven't had period cramps since I was a teenager. So I know it's actually not that. But I put that out there into social media because trying to explain Ascension Flu symptoms to anybody is like trying to explain that you had a meeting with an alien the other day. People are just going to look at you like you have 50 heads, okay? So, and I mean a space alien, okay, like E.T. You had coffee, you had tea, high tea with E.T. But, hey, E.T. So, anyways, but I read this article, and what was so interesting about it was that it really hit the nail on the head of how I'm feeling. Now, what the Ascension Flu is they call it the Ascension Flu because a lot of the symptoms you get while you're spiritually awakening feel like the flu you get. You don't necessarily get a fever, but you get a high temperature. And, you get aches, pains, headaches, runny noses, sneezing, coughing, all the NyQuil stuff. But what's interesting about it is that, wow, some good answers coming out today. But what's interesting about the Ascension Flu is that even though you were literally doing a spiritual awakening, now I've had several of these. This has been my worst, which means that this time I'm actually going through the whole process and not just backing up because it's like, yikes. But I'm at that point now where my lower back is just killing me. I know I didn't throw it out because I can still move. It just every so often it feels like it's locking up, and it's usually when I start to get emotional. So it's pretty cut and dry what it's all about, and that's what I have to work on. So hopefully, along with you guys, this reading will help. And Baby Sibling said it was that card was seriously perfect. I'm not gonna lie, it really was. It was very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. Because, I guess to kind of equate it back to, the whole monarchy thing, right? Like, there's a lot of people that just don't feel like Prince Charles. He's king now. That King Charles is not ready. But I think a lot of that is because for the majority of the people I know, there's only been one queen. I mean, by the time, I would say my mom. I'm not really sure my dad really cares about the monarchy. I don't know. But my mom did. She followed it, which is kind of how I got into it. And then there's older sibling. But even in older siblings in my lifetime, she's always been queen. I mean, there's always been one. Like, that's why I said it's like this comfortable consistency. But sometimes we have to just trust that everything is going to be okay. Faith is the scariest thing in the world because you are trusting in something you cannot see, you cannot touch. You're trusting in something not tangible, in a lot of different ways. And it's spooky as shit. It's scary. But we basically live our lives like that every day. We just don't think about it because it's things we do every day. How many times have you been on the road and you see an accident and you see tarps, right? And tarps are never a good sign. But you think, this person woke up this morning and had no idea this was going to happen to them. I know someone very close to me who woke up one morning and had no idea their life was going to change. But we have faith every day we wake up that whatever's going to happen, we will find a way through it. We will get through it. And I think for me, that's what I need to do. I just need to trust that I'm on the right path. I've been going through this Ascension Flu for over a month now. Usually it's only supposed to last a couple of weeks. But I have noticed that subconsciously I've resisted in certain areas. And so I've kind of had to go back to the, like in sections and kind of restart from there. It's almost like playing a video game, right? Where, maybe you fail a section, so you have to go back and start over to try to get through. An older sibling, she's heartbroken about the queen. I hope you were on for my speech, older sibling. It was good. I changed it a little bit from when I ran it by her this morning. But anyways, I can go on all day about that, but the reason I'm bringing all that up is because all the cards we're about to go through, even if you don't feel like you're in a place of healing, these cards can really kind of open you up to a lot of clarity. But again, like rule number 2 says, don't try to force it to fit you. Okay, don't try to force it to fit you. Like even with the Moonology card, that it could be a soulmate, that's just one of the 5 options that it gave you. For some people, all 5 might resonate. For some people, none of it might resonate. For some people, the soulmate thing may resonate. You know, they'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll get the tingles. You know, but if you don't get the tingles, don't force it. But just know that just if you keep having faith and you keep going, things are going to work out just fine. All right. So let's see if we have any other cards that want to fly out. If not, I'll just pull 2 more from the middle. Okay. Fine. I'll pull 2 more from the middle. Oh, there were some sticking out, but that's right. Let's go. Number 1 in Angel Answers deck. Peaceful resolution. Peaceful resolution. I don't know who needs to hear this, but oh, this is the only deck I don't use the book on, okay? Just because we want to get to the other stuff before, you know, my windbaggy self goes on too long. So, peaceful resolution. If you are going through something right now, if you're going through something right now and you're not sure how it's going to turn out, just know that whatever is troubling you, it is going to have a peaceful resolution. But you have to be patient. You have to communicate if it does involve somebody else. And sometimes you just have to sit and wait. You know, if it's you who's going through something, whatever it is that you're going through, it will have a peaceful resolution. Be patient with yourself. You would give compassion and grace and empathy to somebody else. So afford yourself those same things, the compassion, the grace, and the empathy. Okay? And yeah, going back to the whole faith thing, 42 years ago, before I met older sibling, she was coming home from vacation thinking nothing was going to happen. And the car that she was in, the tire blew. It was the 70s. So it was like, there was a certain brand, there was, you know, I don't want to badmouth anybody because, you know, so I know who it was, but I'm not going to say it on here, and don't put it in the comments, older sibling. But a specific tire company, for many people who remember back to the 70s, had some faulty tires. One of the tires blew out at a pretty high speed on this very dangerous area of, was it the 5 freeway, the 101 freeway in San Luis Obispo? Lots of accidents happen there. What was really strange is that almost 35 years later or 30 years later, one of older siblings' friends were telling her, oh yeah, we just lost a friend who was in a bad car crash on our way back from somewhere, and it was in almost the exact same place where sibling had her accident. Now, because older sibling is very, very good at driving, and because she was actually used to hauling horse trailers back then, that's when she was a horse trainer and a competitor in the equestrian stuff. I don't know what to call it. I'm sorry. But she was able to control the car enough that her and her friend who were in the car did not die. However, they both got badly, badly injured. The car flipped a few times. I think it landed, I don't know if it landed on its head or if it landed on its side. But either way, that actually is what triggered older siblings' RSD, which is currently known as CRPS, chronic regional pain syndrome. And when she flares up, it is like the nerve endings are on fire. So, not something I would wish on even my worst enemy. But she had no idea her life was going to change that day. And it did. And maybe it set her on a different path. Well, it definitely set her on a different path because she had just been accepted to stunt school for free falls. That girl's nuts. Okay? But that's one of the things that makes her so amazing. So anyways, you know, have faith. Have faith that whatever path you were meant to be on, you were going to be put on. Easy or hard. Okay. Oh, she said on its side they crawled out the sunroof. So the next card, forgiveness. Forgiveness. We had this card last week. I can go in 9 different directions with it, but I'm going to move this one in a little bit to the royal family. So we have a queen consort. Not we, they. Sorry. Got lost for a second. Forgot what country I was in. They have a queen consort now, and not among some people, it's a little bit of a fragile situation. But sometimes we have to learn to forgive to move forward, because there are a lot of factors that go into people's behaviors. There's a lot of factors that go into our own behaviors and how we treat other people. And, you know, sometimes we're given the opportunity to break cycles. Sometimes people continue on with the cycles. Sometimes people create new cycles. But we get to the point where sometimes you just have to forgive. And it doesn't mean you have to like the person, or even, like I've said so many times before, even accept them back into your life. But forgiveness really is for you. It's kind of letting you off the hook. Not them. You. If you choose to associate with people again, then in a way, maybe you've decided, I'm going to let them off the hook, but I'm going to set boundaries. If you choose not to participate in other people's lives anymore, unless, you know, you have to, then you're choosing your boundaries. And that's something they have to live with. But forgiveness is about letting go of the anger. It's about letting go of the hate. It's about letting go of everything else so you can start to heal. You can start to feel that pain, you know, just kind of, you know, give it a home for a second and then send it on its way. Well, it could be a long second. What I'm saying is, when I had to heal my traumas, I had to learn to forgive. But what was interesting is it was like a domino effect. There were a lot of other things that ended up coming up that I also had to forgive. You know, not necessarily the degree of the people that had initially hurt me, but how lots of things, excuse me, along the way were handled. You know, like a lot of the people along the way that didn't understand what I was going through, that, you know, didn't understand my mental health, and just kind of brushed it off, or told me, you know, we don't talk about that. And so forgiveness had to be done on many, many different levels. And I had to learn to forgive myself as well, and mainly for being so hard on myself. So if, you know, sometimes that's what we need to do. Oh, here you go. If you're struggling with it, ask your angels. All right. Now, angels are non-denominational. So you could be a pagan and love angels. All right. I know the Bible says they're one thing, but angels are non-denominational. I read several books saying that. And so there. The Bible can say it, then the books I read can say it too. But no, seriously, I connect with my angels a lot. When I do these, I actually connect with Archangel Gabriel, because he is the they are the messenger angel. And yeah, so ask your angels for help, or if you have a higher power or a source, you know, whoever your higher power is, they are usually omnipotent, which means that they can be anywhere. They can be in a million places all at once. That's how powerful and amazing and magical they are. I mean, how many moms or dads in this world, or both, wish they could be in a million places at once, especially when their kids get old enough to start playing sports, right? So if you were struggling with something and you're not sure whether to stay or leave, just know there's something better. All right, there's something better. Now, in my interpretation of this, something better means maybe the situation will get better, or you're free to move forward from whatever it is that you're dealing with, because there is something better out there for you, what's meant for you. Sometimes we stay in things to force it, you know, because we're afraid of change. And that seems to be the theme for today. The theme for today seems to be change, you know, and about change and having faith. So none of the other cards are resonating with me, so we're going to stop at 4 there. All right. But, oh, here, be assertive. So be assertive in your own life. A lot of times we zero in on everybody else's lives because we're afraid to be assertive in our own. Sometimes you got to live your own life, kids. So, well, not sometimes, usually. Healing yourself. Ooh, let's see what this one brings up. There's some cards in here that I have still not seen yet, and I kind of want to see them. So let's see. Let's see if anything pops out for you guys. Let me uncross my legs. There it is. The minute I uncrossed my legs, there they went. So, sadness. That seems to be kind of the prevailing feeling right now, right around the world. Sadness. Sadness. Very melancholy picture. Actually, I'll be honest with you, she looks a little sleepy to me, but sadness. So, card number 5. Let's see what sadness has to say. I'm just going to go right to the book on that one because there are so many different things that are really kind of hitting my mind as far as sadness goes. The world is in a very precarious state right now. So there's a lot of people angry. There's a lot of people just, uncertain of how to feel. There's a lot of people who are sad. And it's not because of the Queen passing away yesterday that the world's in a precarious state. It's been in one. It's been in one. And I think the way we move out of that is to really, instead of running away from our sadness, kind of running towards it. Like you're a linebacker ready to tackle a quarterback or something, It's football season now, so there you go. But I know it feels easier to run away from sadness. And there are going to be times when you just feel like you can't. You just cannot. And I think that's when we really need to kind of dig in our heels, take a deep breath, take a beat, take as many moments as you need, as many breaths as you need. But don't go backwards. Don't turn your back on sadness. Keep facing it. Keep your eye on it while you take that rest. And then when you're ready, keep running at it. Because the faster you run at it, the more you're going to be able to, think of it as like, I don't know, we'll say glass without you getting cut, all right? And shattered glass. And those shattered pieces of glass are all the little bits and pieces of you that need to be healed. Maybe you get scratched, maybe you get cut, maybe a couple pieces get stuck in you, because that's how much sadness can fucking hurt. But the thing is, we learn to heal. Sometimes it's going to leave a scar, but those scars are designed to remind us of how far we've come. There's some people that I have become friends with on Twitter, and some people I know public or personally that used to self-harm. And some of them still do, but they're like, I don't know what to do because, I'm better now, but these scars are still on me. Well, I know I didn't cause this scar, but it's the sign of your life. It's all of the things, the horrible things that you overcame. If people are going to judge you, that's their problem. But I'm here to tell you that if you have visible scars, don't be ashamed of them. Whether they were caused by you, or they were caused by an accident, or they were caused by a surgery, don't be ashamed of them, because those are your story. They tell your story. People will judge you for having tattoos, but what do your tattoos do? They tell stories. Mine tell stories. And I feel like, I always talk about this little dragonfly I got from my mom when she passed away. And I have to say, I got it because I wanted it to remind me that my story was not over yet. That's why there's a semicolon at the bottom. My story is not finished yet. And yet, I've taken a long time to finish this story. Or not finish it. I don't want to finish it anytime soon. But I've taken a long time just to get to where I'm at now, to continue this story, because I was afraid, because I was scared, because I was sad. I let all of those things overwhelm me, because instead of running towards it, I ran away from it, because I didn't know how to deal with it. And I will tell you this, you probably will never know how to deal with it until you run towards it. Then you just kind of wing it and figure it out, and then one day you're on the other side of it and you're going, whoa, I did that. And you might have triggers. You know, I can't say that I will go the rest of my life with not having a trigger, but I am becoming more and more aware of what causes my depression, what causes my sadness, what sparks my anxiety when I do have anxiety. And to me, that's a very magical and powerful thing, because that's my shield and sword. By having knowledge of what I already know on how I ran towards something to help it, I have learned the tools to hold it back the best I can. And, you know, sometimes we may get overwhelmed with it. Some days we may need to just take that break and say, you know what? Nope, can't do it today. Maybe you need a couple of days. But do your best to not spiral. Spiraling is the worst. And it can take a long time to come back from that. And my goal is to put a lot of distance between each time I spiral. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll be able to stave it off for the rest of my life. I don't know. I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. But what I do know today is that I am doing okay. What I do know today is that I'm in touch with my mental health. And I'm in touch with my sadness. Because I was fully aware of what's coming up. I'm fully aware of what today is, what Monday will be. And I'm doing my best to just kind of not run away from the sadness, but just kind of nurture it and hug it. You know, in my mind, it's like this little shadow Shelly that just needs to be held and comforted, because it's sad. It's the day that changed my life forever. So, sadness. It's easy to swallow your sadness and hide behind a fake smile. Yet sadness can open the door to your heart and help you access compassion. When you can truly allow yourself to cry and feel sorrow over the loss of a loved one, a lost opportunity, a broken heart, or a friendship that's ended, you cleanse your soul and allow your heart to heal. Crying and feeling vulnerable can be a sign of strength, which demonstrates your connection to your body. To admit weakness can allow you to know yourself, embrace your limitations, and evolve. I'm going to add to that, it takes strength to admit your weaknesses. All right? I know that sounds like, what the hell, Shelly, are you saying? But if you really stop and think about it, it takes strength, because you are facing something that scares the shit out of you. And that takes a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot of strength to do that. Be willing to let go of the cold walls of protection you have created, which make you feel empty and sick. You don't need to get lost in your emotions. Just give yourself time to feel them and let them move through your whole being, cleansing and purifying your heart, body, and soul. So, you know, a lot of times, if you're sad, do something that makes you happy. You know, I mean, in this house, I refer to the, okay, so I live on Canterbury Court, and most of us have heard of Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, but since there's a few kitties running around this house, I changed tales to pet tales, like Tails. So, the home of the Canterbury Tales has been really mourning the loss of the Queen. Okay, it's change. And, you know, judge me, don't judge me, whatever you want to do. It's just, you know, like I said, it's that consistent comfort that's gone. And it's change. And the house, or the home of the Canterbury Tales, is not always good with change. I can tell you that. But, I totally forgot where I was going with that. But with the card and the sadness, you know, there's been a very distinct awareness of what's been happening. And we just kind of move through it, right? Like the book says. What was it? Number 5. You don't need to get lost in your emotions. Just give yourself time to feel them and let them move through your whole being, cleansing and purifying your heart, body, and soul. It's okay to feel. It really, really is. It's okay to cry. If you don't want to cry in front of other people, then do it privately. You know, I mean, that's your choice. You get to cry in front of who you want to. If you're in my presence, you may always cry in front of me, because I don't mind. I like to give people hugs. So, I know. I'm a hugger. I admit, I'm a hugger. Which is interesting, because when I was a kid, I was not a hugger. But as I've kind of grown into my own being and in my own self, I'm a hugger. I remember we went to Disneyland, and I think that weekend was Gay Days. Gay Days weekend. So sibling and I went to support our friends because, it's also a fun weekend. And there was this girl walking around going, I give free hugs. And, oh no, what was it? It was either I give free hugs or hug me. It was one of the two. I can't remember. So I walked up to her and I'm the stranger and she's just looking at me and I'm like, your shirt says hug me. And she got so excited. She's like, you're the first person to actually respond to this shirt. And I thought, Jesus Christ, it's like 4 PM. It's like, we've been here since, 9 o'clock this morning. But, and she had been there about the same time with her and her girlfriend. So I was like, yeah. And so she gave me the best hug. But she also said, wow, you gave me the best hug. And so hugging can heal people, okay? I don't care what anybody says. Hugging can heal. So we're on the Healing with the Fairies deck. And I have a funny feeling that Poppy is not going to help me until I shut up and listen to the cards. So, oh, there it is. There they are. All 3 of them just poofed right out of the deck. All right, let's roll. Honoring your true feelings. There you go. If there is a theme of themes, honoring your true feelings. Yeah, I said enough on that. Oh, kind of warbled on about that. So let's just go right to the book. By drawing this card, you're urged to listen to and follow your true feelings. Do not betray or rationalize that it's acceptable to deny your inner voice of truth. You have an inner counselor who is very wise. This source of wisdom speaks to you in both physical and emotional ways. Perhaps you have gut feelings that are speaking loudly to you, or physical reactions to situations such as a tightened jaw or a nervous stomach. Your heart may be drawing you toward a particular geographical location, a specific career, or a certain type of relationship. You may feel compelled to leave a particular situation that is unacceptable. The fairies know the importance of heeding their own feelings, and they ask you to do the same. They say, please don't discount what you know to be true in your heart. Follow your emotions, as they are your inner compass that will steer you home and keep you warm, safe, supported, and joyous. If you're unclear about which emotions you're experiencing, write down your thoughts and feelings in a journal to gain clarity and understanding. You got to feel it to heal it. So, affirmation. I listen to, honor, and follow my true feelings, knowing that they are the answers to my prayers. So, honor your true feelings, all right? The fairies have told you, you don't want them coming in and slapping you upside the head. Feeling safe. So, I'm just going to read the card on that one too. I think when it comes to honoring your feelings, and even the sadness card that we just went through, it's going to be scary, okay? Especially if you're not used to just kind of, running at your feelings like you're a bull heading towards a red cape. But, and sometimes it might feel like that because, the poor bull, right? The poor bull gets speared and just messed with. And that's what sadness can feel like. It can feel like that, that red cape and the guy, I forgot what they're called. Oh, my brain is just blanking today. But, the matador, you might feel like the bull, and the matador and the red cape is your sadness. And in this case, that was probably the worst example to start with, but I'm going to leave that metaphor right there because that's what sadness can feel like. That's what pain can feel like. Running at this thing that is going to hurt you, but with the opportunity to hurt it back, right? I had to throw one in for the bull. But moving out of that metaphor, once you decide to shift into this gear of healing, you have to know that you are going to be safe because you are fully aware of what you are doing. It may not feel like it, but if you're a little worried, if you're a little scared, maybe you do have some issues of, self-harm in the past, either find a professional or find a friend that you can lean on and trust. Someone who isn't going to try to fix you, but will sit there and listen with you while you need it, or allow you to bounce things off of, that will be perfectly honest with you, that when you ask them, will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, but only when asked. All right. So if somebody comes to you and they just say, I need some support, just, if you're not sure where to go with it, just say, do you want advice or just someone to lean on? Or do you want to bounce things off me or just someone to lean on? Give them the option, give them the choice, and leave both options open. But give them a safe space. But also, again, you would do this for someone else. So give yourself the grace, compassion, and empathy to feel safe. All right? Any feelings of danger or vulnerability are healing, and they're replaced with the certain knowledge that you are safe and protected now. So apparently this card is also telling you that whatever you're pursuing and whatever direction you are going in, if this card resonates with you, you are safe. Have you felt frightened or insecure lately? If so, this card is a signal that heaven is aware of your feelings and has come to your aid. You are surrounded by heavenly beings who love and protect you on an ongoing basis. The fairies remind you that your thoughts of danger are triggering your feelings of vulnerability. In your mind, you have given power to some outside entity. You believe that this is the idol that you have created, has the power to hurt you. Okay, you believe that this idol you have created has the power to hurt you. Yet, the only power it has is that which you have attributed to it. The fairies urge you to awaken from this mistaken concept. See that you have the power to create a happy and secure dream and make the decision to feel safe. So, you may say, I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? Because I don't do that often enough. But the passing of my mother. And I ran away from that sadness for a long time. A couple years, really. Which is why it's taken me so long on this journey to get where I'm going. But when you stop and you face the sadness, you may have spent, like I did, years building it up into this crazy looking hurricane, lightning, like cartoon hurricane, right? With the lightning and all the craziness happening, houses flying around inside of it, cows and big rigs and all this shit flying around inside of it. And it may look like the most daunting thing to you in the world. Now, if you're faced with a real hurricane or tornado, please don't go towards it. All right, I'm using a metaphor here. But then all of a sudden you realize, wait, I've made it this big. I can remove all these things and turn it into maybe even just a little water funnel in the ocean. And that's how we face those demons, those scary things. We take its power away from it. We take the power of the sadness away from it. Do you keep feeding the sadness because maybe you feel guilty about being happy? Maybe you feel guilty about moving on. Oh, I know where I was going with that when I was talking about sadness. Some people tell jokes. Last night, it was a sad day yesterday, for a lot of us who kind of just are fascinated by the monarchy and the queen. And I came into my room and I did something that I probably would have never done if it had been me about a year ago. I put on my headphones, I put on my playlist, and every time a song came on that was not some type of movie soundtrack, I was singing. And not sad singing, like just singing. Because that's what makes me happy. That's what brings me joy. Singing to myself, basically. But still, I just kind of was doing my own thing at the computer, journaling and singing. And it's not because I didn't care. It's because I didn't want to spiral. Because I wouldn't spiral over something like the queen passing. I mean, I didn't know her. I was fascinated by her, and I'm fascinated by the monarchy. But again, I'm in this little wave of my mom's passing now, where the days are just, there were so many different things that happened each day before she actually passed that they're hard not to forget. But not only that, this is the first time I'm dealing with it with a fresh set of eyes. Dealing with it in a place where, in this moment, I'm not dreading the day and trying to come up with 5 million things to do that's my mom would have loved to do. To not face it. To not think about it. I'm just learning how to ride the tide and see what happens. As of today, I'm getting my tires rotated on Monday. I'm sure that's something she would have loved to do, loved to tell my dad to do. So here's the affirmation. I am safe. I am secure. I am completely protected at all times. I am safe. I am secure. I am completely protected at all times. And the magic of nature. The magic of nature. What can I say about that? Get your fucking asses outside and get in tune with nature. I know. I'm a little vocal today with the potty words, huh? I don't care. So, anyways, card meaning. Spend time outdoors among the flowers, plants, and trees. Nature has powerful gifts that she wants to share with you, including ideas, information, and healing energy. Whether you believe in the metaphysical or not, one of my favorite things to do is to take off my shoes and either bury my feet in the sand when I'm at the beach and in the water, in the ocean water, or if you're at a lake. Sibling and I are going to be heading to Colorado soon, and there's a lake on the way up to the mountains where the resort is that we stay at every year, because our aunt's birthday usually lands right in that area. And I told her, I said, it'd be kind of neat to just kind of connect with nature. So do you mind if I stop here and just kind of put my water in the Georgetown Lake? And Georgetown, I think it's actually part of a river, but it's so wide on either side that it kind of forms a lake. But it is kind of like part of the river that flows along the freeway. And it was cold AF, but there was something so magical and peaceful about it. Having the water just, because it's a lake, not an ocean. You have the water just kind of lapping around your ankles. And it was cold, because a lot of that was, it's water coming from the mountains. So, water that's, still melting from the snow the previous year and through the summer, because it's fall. But, and sometimes it's actual snowfall, because, it's Colorado. Could be snowing right now for all I know. But what's interesting about it is that when you connect with nature, there's something very peaceful about it. If you don't live near water, just get some soil if you want planting soil. Make your own little tiny foot thing. Get a litter box for cats and, fill it up with soil. And whenever you feel like you need to connect with the earth, just put your feet in it. Don't try to touch the bottom. Make sure your feet on every end are covered with soil. Or you can go outside and just walk around barefoot in the grass. A lot of people think that's crazy, but you'd be surprised the energy you can feel. And a lot of it is because we lose ourselves in the sensation of feeling something. Most of the time we feel with our hands. So when you feel something with your feet, if you're not a person that walks around barefoot a lot, it's a different feeling. You can feel the energy of Mother Earth just kind of saying hi. It's like she's kissing the bottom of your feet. Okay, and that's not to be weird, but it's like just saying, hey, here's some energy. Just sit here and relax with me for a while. Go play in the rain. One of the things I love to do, which, especially when I was in Hawaii and we would have warm rain, which is kind of run around in the rain, because it was warm, it wasn't freezing. So, you weren't freezing every time a drop of water hit you. But anyways, when you are disconnected from Mother Earth, you may feel depressed or lethargic without knowing why. Earth, too, feels distraught when you don't connect with her on a regular basis. She needs you to be amidst her beauty so that she can telegraph information to you. In this way, you'll know best how to care for your planet. By drawing this card, you're being urged to spend time daily, even as little as 5 minutes, outside in nature. Remove your shoes, socks, or nylons and connect your bare feet with the soil, sod, or sand. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, close your eyes and take a few deep breaths as you're surrounded by the magical energy of nature. Mentally ask the fairies to help you with any issues you may have. Then open your eyes and look for their flitting light, which is the first sign that you're seeing the fairies that surround you. You never know what you're going to see. Affirmation. I love being outside in nature. I feel energized by the sunshine, fresh air, plants, and animals. I take excellent care of every living being, including myself. So there you go, connecting with nature. For people that are like fairies are nature angels. If you got a problem with fairies themselves, the fairies are nature angels. So, you're kind of connecting with that. But if you're wondering about me, it's like, does she really believe in those? I believe in anything until you can prove to me they don't exist. That includes nice people who are all about just being kind to others, which actually I know a lot of, so that's probably the worst example I can give. But my point is that we always like to sit there and think that all these different things don't exist, but is it to make ourselves feel better because we want to just be disagreeable, or because we don't think that anything like that is possible? I think everything is possible. We're starting to hear about declassified stuff about military seeing unidentified aerial phenomena. So they went from being UFOs to UAPs. And people are like, yeah, it's probably a weather balloon. Well, whether it's a weather balloon or not, we don't know, right? And yet we send probes out into space in case we make contact with somebody. And that's okay. But if somebody says, oh yeah, I saw something weird in the sky that night, we look at them like they have 10 heads. And then we walk back into our houses and watch all these documentaries on UFOs and ghosts and all these other things, right? So I think a lot of times we're taught not to believe. We're taught not to find things interesting, to find the the probable in the improbable. But so like I said, I kind of live my life, and I've always lived my life this way. I believe until somebody tells me, nope, sorry. So I guess I'm always going to believe. So, all right, the fly trap, getting stuck in sticky situations. You know what? This one doesn't feel right. Oh, I love this one. Let's see. Okay, I think we found it. Here's one that says feel at peace. But we're going to stick with number 13, tubular bells. 13 is my favorite number. And not because because it is the number 13, but the story behind that is because when I turned 13, I was so terrified of the number, I figured I needed to do something to get through the year. So I embraced it as my favorite number. That's right. And it has stuck ever since. So anyways, patience and trust. The reason I'm going with this one is because that's kind of the focus, right? Change, faith, trust, patience. Sometimes known as squash blossoms, the flowers of the zucchini plant are yellow and tubular. They are prized for their culinary contribution to both sweet and savory dishes. There's no use trying to hurry the delicate blossoms. They will flower when they are ready. However, this is a generous and prolific plant, and the flowers lend themselves well to prosperity and fertility. Just as plants and flowers grow at their own pace, everything in your life will fall into place at just the right time. When this unicorn appears, relax and surrender your problems to a higher power, and in doing so, you will be grounded, tranquil, and wise. Patience and trust is the greater good. Patience and trust in the greater good are the lessons of this card. You have been allocated all the time you need to do what you came to this earth to do. Every individual has a different path to follow, so do not compare yourself to others. Manifestation of your dreams can take some time, as there is a lag between the world of thought and the physical world. It can sometimes seem that, despite constantly striving towards a much cherished dream, the opposite seems to be happening. Understand that these obstacles might be a test to see if what you truly want is best for you. People may accomplish things sooner than you or at a younger age, but do not be discouraged. Your time will arrive at the perfect moment. As Louise Hay said, the point of power is always in the present moment. Don't worry about what other people are doing. I spent too much of my life doing that, and I think sometimes we put ourselves behind the 8 ball when we're worried about who's younger, who's doing what, how fast they got somewhere. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own things they need to heal. You might be saying, well, how did that person end up doing what they did? Well, maybe you have some kind of trauma that you've needed to heal. Maybe you've had something going on that you've needed to heal that they didn't have to. They've just been able to focus like nobody's business, and, or maybe they have this gift where, they're really good at ignoring everything else around them. So, they move forward in a different direction than you do. But just because they got someplace before you did doesn't mean that it's going to be easy for them. So by that I mean, when what you see somebody else doing, they may be ignoring something that you're healing in that moment. They may be ignoring something that a trauma they may have to heal by just putting themselves all into one thing. And eventually that's going to catch up with them. So that doesn't mean you're wishing any ill will. I'm just making different points. Some people don't have those things to deal with. They just, and some people that have trauma just, but everybody's different. When we start to compare ourselves to other people, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot instead of helping yourself. Just worry about what you're doing. I struggled with that for the last couple of months about, wondering what I'd done with my life. Being where I'm at now, what have I done? What have I done the first half of this life? And I really kind of put my own self behind the 8 ball on that, because I was comparing myself to everything else and everyone else in this world. But then I realized, wow, you know what? Maybe I am meant to be exactly where I'm at in this moment. This is my life. I get to decide every single step I take. And I could have taken all these different paths, but they were hard for me because I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate because I had all this pain, all this sorrow, all this anger, all this trauma, all this, just ugly emotions and feelings that were buried so deep inside of me that I have literally had to, it feels like a game of Operation, where you just kind of, if you hit the buzzer, you got to start all over again. You lose your turn. So focus on you. Don't compete with everybody else. And again, think about if you were, if you were talking to you, say you put yourself in the position that you're your friend so-and-so, and they came to you and said, I'm just struggling with where I'm at right now. And I hate the fact that, I feel like I've done nothing with my life. What would you say to you? I had to sit down and do that. And what I said to me was, how do you feel? I feel great. Other than that, how'd you feel 6 months ago? Felt like shit. I was going through so much crap. How'd you feel 4 years ago? Oh, I was nowhere near to feeling how I felt now. How'd you feel 9 years ago, even before your mom passed? Like I was just existing. How do you feel now? Like I'm living. Like I'm thriving. I may not be where I want to be, but I know where I'm supposed to be. I'm at where I'm supposed to be, is what I actually meant to say. So sometimes that's what we have to be happy with, is focusing right here in the moment. Okay, so this is actually a really good card for this. Shaolin Master. Oh, so this is older siblings deck. I bought this for her birthday about a year or so ago. It's Angels and Ancestors, and I'm in love with this deck. She may never get it back, but so I know, no, I will give it back, don't worry. But Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. Be graceful in movement. Okay, so for anybody who's my age, remember the show Kung Fu with David Carradine? Grasshopper. So, I know. Don't judge me. Or you can if you want, I don't care. But let's see. I'm still kind of learning this book, so it's just like there's different sections. It's not in alphabetical order. So the message, slow and steady, breathe and flow, take a gentler approach. The Shaolin Master calls forth the ninja within. Oh, ninjas. Batman was a ninja. Shaolin medicine is about learning to adapt to a situation and to tap into the energy running through your body and preserve it in order to release it at the right moment. It also teaches subtlety, because when you're too forceful, you use too much energy, and that may not be supportive of what you're working on. The Shaolin Master, like a monk, has respect for all things. He is disciplined and guided by his art and will never use it to impress the foolish or to appear stronger than someone who is threatening him. You too are being invited to remain graceful in your movement, choices, and actions. So the extended message. You are being guided to flow like water, blow like air, and connect with your purest intentions. Don't feel you need to rush ahead. A gentler approach will be more fruitful and rewarding. Move with subtlety and grace. Reach high, but also ask yourself how you can move with the flow of life rather than pushing against it. Do you have the capacity to refocus your gaze at this time? Can you slow down or take more time to soften and breathe as you move forward? All of this will be incredibly beneficial for what happens next. That is a perfect card to end on, especially after, especially for me. I mean, this is for all of you, but this one really kind of hit home for me after what I was just talking about wondering, about being in where I wanted to be versus where I'm supposed to be in this moment. And that card was perfect. Go with the flow. Follow your flow. Don't fight against it. When we fight against the flow, all you're doing is resisting. And when you're resisting, all you're doing is causing more problems for yourself because you're slowing your progress down. Sometimes, like I said at the very beginning of this, we have to face what scares us the most, what hurts us the most, what may have traumatized us the most. Because when we do that, we're finding our strength. We're finding our voice. We're finding exactly what it is that we're made of. And we're showing ourselves the compassion, the empathy, and the grace that we all deserve, that we know we would give to somebody else. Don't judge where you're at, okay? Just keep moving forward. Ho'omau. Ho'omau is a Hawaiian word for keep moving. It's for perseverance. But keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. When we start to compare ourselves to other people, that's when we start to fall apart. Okay? You may have someone that comes up to you, oh, well, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm here now in this place. But you know what? As long as you're happy in here, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And if they're happy in where they're at, then that's great. But remember what I said when I broke it down. If I asked myself how I felt 6 months ago, or if I asked myself today, how do I feel? I feel okay. But then I started, like I said, I started going backwards and backwards and backwards. And then I realized, oh, look at me. I'm thriving. I'm not existing anymore. I'm thriving. And yeah, life could be a lot easier and it could be a lot different. And who knows, maybe along the way it will get easier. And, I will head in the direction I want to head in, or head in the direction that I meant to head in. But right now, I am finally happy, not content. I am finally happy with where I am, because I know this is where I'm supposed to be in this moment, in this exact time. Okay, so I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Have a safe weekend. Think about some of the self-love lessons we did this week. We only did 2, I know, but I'm going to shift the schedule a little bit next week. Usually it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday that I do self-love. Next week it is going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wednesday, once again, will double as self-love and self-care. So hopefully that should be some interesting stuff, right? But anyway, that being said, we're going to get back to self-love lessons next Monday, and it will be self-love lesson number 12. Hopefully the following week after that, we'll be back on our 3-day cycle of self-love lessons. But I believe next week we're going to hit the halfway mark next Thursday. Yeah, we're going to hit the halfway mark next Thursday. So good times, all right? So I'll see everybody back here Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Facebook Live. It is public. Anybody can watch. You can find it under Shaolin Master Lucas, or you can catch it on, you can catch it later on my Facebook page, The Aloha Perspective, or you can catch the replay on YouTube under The Aloha Perspective with Shaolin Master Lucas. Okay, and again, that's Monday, September 12th will be lesson number 12. Hey, we'll be well, that's kind of fun. We're going to go like chronological next week, like on the days. Never mind. But anyways, I love numbers. So the fact that we're doing lesson number 12, 13, 14, and 15 on days 12 through 15 is kind of exciting for me. It's like steps. So again, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Please keep yourself safe. Take care of yourself. And remember, be compassionate, empathetic, and give yourself some grace. Okay? Have a great day.